Open your
One
scrapbook and show
It's
us
not a
one.
scrapbook. It's a journal.
Open up your scrapbook and show us one of your stickers that you put in there.
There's a platypus.
That is a platypus. Now, why is there a platypus in there?
Because I had it and I didn't know where to put it.
I'm here with Snippins, Precious Boo Boo, or Microwave Bullweenus. And today we're talking Snippins likes
scrapbooking.
Oh,
Snippins? No, I don't scrapbook.
With friends who love to give each other the business. Snippin.
What?
Are you doing crafts? Are you crafting
yeah.
right now? What
can you show the class?
Yeah, what do you do? What do you are we cutting into your crafting schedule?
I think you are.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Snippins.
What?
Hold up whatever you're doing.
It's my journal.
Oh no.
What?
Snippins, are you taping pictures and stuff to a journal?
No.
Yes.
I write in a journal, see?
Are there stickers and are there stickers and pictures in there?
We want it to be cute.
That's see? A scrapbook. That's
no, it's not. It's a journal.
Scrapbooks don't have notes.
That's dangerously close to a scrapbook.
No, it's not.
That's what you do when you're drinking lemonade and playing checkers in your porch.
Don't you mean living the dream?
Yeah. Snippins, you don't do that at this age. Are you scrapbooking? It seems like
no, I'm journaling.
She's journaling.
It's a journal with light embellishment.
Which is
journaling.
Oh.
No. Mm-mm.
So you're saying that what you're doing is not scrapbooking?
No, it's not.
And just so we can be clear, what do you think scrapbooking is?
I don't even know what scrapbooking is.
It's what you're doing.
No, I don't think so.
Can we go to the Google machine for it?
Yes. Why don't you?
Sure.
Google will now tell us.
Scrapbooking from Wikipedia is a method of preserving, presenting, and arranging personal and family history in the form of a book, box, or card. Typical memorabilia includes photographs, printed media, and artwork. Scrapbook albums are often decorated and frequently contain extensive journal entries. Oh.
Yeah, they do.
Or written descriptions.
Yeah.
Scrapbooking started in the United Kingdom in the 19th century. I'm going to dispute that. Yeah.
You're going to dispute the definition.
I'm saying what I'm doing is not scrapbooking. It's more of organization and remembering things.
Snippins, we'll get to you in a minute. I'm just trying to figure out if Boo Boo, are you disputing the definition you just read?
No. I'm disputing the scrapbooking started in the United Kingdom in the 19th century thing. For sure, somebody was doing this prior to that. We call it history. I think maybe the original scrapbookers were the Egyptians. They kept all kinds of tchotchkes inside their burial tombs, and they had writings on the wall that were detailing the events of their days.
But that's not a That's not a book. That's a wall.
They were scrap housing.
That's carved into as my art history teacher used to say, into the living rock. That is different than a book or a journal, or in Snippin's case, a scrapbook. Now, Snippin,
it's not a scrapbook. There's no scraps in it.
What?
There's no scraps in it.
You think scrapbook just means something with scraps in it? That's not what it means.
No, but it's not a scrapbook. I've seen those aisles at the Michael's. It's not scrapbooking.
That's what I'm saying. When you go to Michael's, if you did, and you found yourself in the scrapbooking section, that's when you know it's time to call one of those retirement communities.
Those places where your kids put you when they don't want you to live with them.
If you pipe up, then the staff will smother you with a pillow, then tell your relatives you passed quietly in the night. Nobody questions it because you're a burden, and that's how most of us are going to go. I mean, I hate to.
Or if it's during like a global pandemic, they just kind of look the other way as it runs through the halls. Yes.
I did have a misfortune of delivering pizza when I was 17 to one of those places. When I gave them the pizza, the staff ordered it, And then one of them came back and said, "Oh, Jenkins in 17 pooped herself again." And they were like, "Well, let's eat the pizza and then we'll deal with it." And I was like, "Oh God, get me out of here!" And then as I was running for the door, just running for the door, the hallways got longer and longer as I was running. And then I felt a pinch on my elbow, and I stopped, and it was like a skeletal pinch right on my pressure point on my elbow. And I was like, ah! And there was this old man, and he was like, "Kid, you got to get me out of here." When
Are you making this up?
No, this happened to me. This is when I was delivering pizzas for Domino's Pizza.
Okay.
He was like, "Kid, you got to get me out of here. When they're young, they don't want any. But now that they're old, got one foot in the grave, all they want is sex, sex, sex all the time. I'm tired. You got to get me out of here, kid." And I was like, ah, and I wrenched my elbow free.
I love him. I love that man.
And I ran for the door, and I never looked back.
And you left a man in need hanging.
Well, he was expunged of all of his bodily fluids, I would imagine, by that time. But he said that he was being sexed to death, and that I had.
He was a desiccated corpse, some sunken in old man.
He's just, when he ejaculates, it's just powder. That's all he has left.
It coughs.
Well, I think it's because women typically live longer than men, so those places are full of women and there's fewer men, so they're kind of a hot commodity.
Well, also when you have Alzheimer's or early onset those conditions, you become hypersexual. I mean, I don't know if that was really happening to him or he thought it was happening to him. You know what I mean? Because that could be just his weird delusion.
You could have tried helping him. Maybe you would have found more out.
No, I was terrified. I was 17. I don't want to hear about that kind of stuff.
I feel like we could track every misfortune in your life from 17 on and blame that on the karma of leaving that poor oversexed man in that dungeon.
If that's what he was, again, there's no evidence one way or the other if he was actually being oversexed, pumping up powder, or if he was suffering from a delusional state. I have no idea.
Here in the HQ of anti-microwaving, we believe victims.
Look, we had 2 full episodes where you stated your case. In one, you were just like, "I'm wrong." That's what you did. And in the second one, it wasn't much better because you didn't prove anything. 1 and 2, you just gave up at the end of that one too. But you charged the portcussles twice, and you ran away during both times. What do you want us to do at this point? At what point is it over?
I want you to remove this microwave from my house, please.
Right. You even have one, and you're not even a microwave. You're not even a restaurant, and you have a microwave there.
Not even a restaurant. I'm supposed to have one. It's a tool of convenience. A restaurant's not supposed to have a fucking convenience. It's supposed to provide a service.
If you recall the very first story that I told you, they started in restaurants. That's where they start. What are you talking about?
And doctors used to prescribe Camel cigarettes. Okay? It's not always great what they used to do.
That's not my... I'm not trying to prove a point.
They used to put meats in gelatins. Why were they doing that back then when they were wowed by the microwave?
You know what Nostradamus' book was? He wrote a book.
Pride and Prejudice?
No, it was like the jams and jellies.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. He wrote a jams and jellies book, and then he was like, "I can foretell the futures."
Was it a cookbook? Did he just become one of those people who got into cooking as he got older?
People who thought themselves as chemists or whatever were also, like the barber was also the doctor. That's why it had that red swirly thing. It was a symbol of like cloths that are covered in blood spinning in a circle, because barbers and doctors were the same at some point. That spirally thing outside of barbershops, the red and white swirl, that's what it is.
Citation needed.
Citation of what? What citation would you like?
I need proof on this.
I
think it's about candy striping.
What did you think the thing outside of the barbershop was?
Attention grabbing.
No.
What's the point of the red and white tablecloth? Is that because they used to have blood all over the table?
Because the cloths were covered in blood and some of them weren't, and they were hanging out all the time. So that's what people thought of as the symbol of barber and or early dentist. Because they didn't have these specialties in those days. When you went to that guy, he did like 50 things. So I'm not saying Nostradamus was a con artist, but I'm also saying that because you can't go from jams and jellies to
future. I think the origin of the barber term probably comes a little bit more literally. They kept fucking people's hair up, and people would say, "You brutalized me, you barbarian." And then you just kind of whittle a couple of letters down, barber.
The origin of the barber pole appears to be associated with the service of bloodletting. The original pole has a brass basin in its top representing the vessel with leeches were kept, also representing the basin that received the blood.
What about the bloody rags? I hear nothing about rags in here.
The red and the white were the different colors of red and white cloth. And the wind would whip them around so they looked like a cute little peppermint stick. You think it's because of you think it's a Christmas reference?
No.
A peppermint stick all year round? Okay, well, that's what I literally looked it up, and that's what it says. I already knew this.
So
anyway.
it's not like the inflatable guy that flips up and down and his arms flip out at a car dealership? The noodle guy? It's not that?
You're saying it was an attention grabber?
Yes.
Peppermint stick? No. Because back in those days, it was about leeches and letting, if you were something wrong with you, they would just bleed you for no reason.
Did you make a podcast about never being right just so you could yell at your friends?
No, I only did it because I knew that everything I would say, you guys would yell at me about, even though I was correct in this.
No, you're the one yelling. You're the one all animated.
I can't take the amount of abuse I'm receiving by trying to give you a little bit of history. Just a little.
I have a random aside.
Go ahead.
In your advanced age, you're looking more and more like Harold Ramis.
Oh.
Yeah.
After he's dead?
No. No, I imagine he looks very ghoulish. But in the later years. You know, Ramon, if you kept a journal and kept better track of things.
Yeah. Go on.
I can see you bracing for the spritzing as I said that.
Because I know it's going to be great, but go ahead.
We might have better topics for our podcast.
We've had some sensational ones the last couple of weeks. I thought we
vampire hunting, microwaves.
All we have so far is that Snippins is scrapbooking, but doesn't.
No, it's not a scrapbook.
Do you have pieces of doilies in there?
I have a leather scrapbook. See, it's not doily at all.
You just said I have a leather scrapbook. That's what you just said.
Shit.
Oh shit!
No, it's a journal. This is a journal. This is a German-made journal.
So I have tallied our votes, and feel free to write in the comments section who you think is never right in this episode.
I have a leather scrapbook. See?
You're never right.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want more content from the Never Right podcast.